Hello everyone, I'm Rebecca Reynolds, and this is my Biglicious beauty blog premiere post. This is my first time posting, and I am elated and excited to finally share my favorite passions, which is fashion, beauty, makeup, and body positivity. I am one of the happiest plus-size fat girls you will ever meet. I am extremely comfortable in my own skin, and my goal is to be able to give you makeup tips, beauty tips to make you feel just as happy and confident as I do every single day. So thank you for viewing my very first video. For those that are already here because they know me in person, and they're lucky, I am a very, very, very happy girl. I like my skin. I love my body. I own it. I am rocking a torrid bikini this summer. I am somebody that's very happy, and I don't let anything weigh me down. I have friends that weigh 110 pounds and they don't have the confidence I have, and I want to be able to somehow, through the interwebs, show you guys that you need to be happy with who you are, love the skin you're in, F your beauty standards, and be who you are. So a couple of things you're going to learn on these blog postings, on these tutorials. I'm going to show you some simple basic makeup tips, some very extreme big, luscious, beautiful eye makeup. I'm going to show you some tips that I use every single day to make my skin look its best. Some hair, there's going to be a lot of fashion, making you look the best that you can, and putting things that you wouldn't think would go with something else. It's going to be a little bit of everything, but it's always going to be fun, sometimes silly, but I promise you, you will not be disappointed. So if this is your first time here, please subscribe, please follow, and I promise you, you will not be let down. So I meant to do my very first video today, but I had a job interview, and I am happy to say that job interview went exceptionally well because I was offered the job immediately. I took it. It has great money and great benefits, and it's everything that me and my family need right now, so I am very, very happy. So I didn't have time to do the whole walkthrough like I wanted. I did take some pictures though, and I'm going to post them below afterwards. But I wanted to kind of go back through this evening and show you how I got to where I was, so by tomorrow and the next day we can kind of start over. So first and foremost, obviously I've got some pretty long hair. I'm going to go ahead and just take it and pull it back a little bit just so it's off my face so you can kind of see, what I was doing earlier today. So something I should mention, most of my makeup comes from any old regular drugstore, anything you can find. I'm here in Missouri, so every corner there's a Walgreens. We have CVS, we have Walgreens, we've got Target, Walmart. Most of the products that I use are going to be very budget conscious, so anybody can get these, but there's going to be a couple of high dollar things. My main weakness is Urban Decay eyeshadow, and I spend money on things that I think matter, and I will save on things that I don't think matter or that anybody can use. So first and foremost, you can see that I just did a very basic makeup today. All I had was some simple eyeliner on, some blush, some contouring, and made my face just kind of glow. I will be honest up front, I do not have perfect skin, which I feel that a lot of us don't. We all have flaws. I've had shingles twice, and it's been on my face, and it's not been fun. So I have some before pictures. I'm not ashamed to show those. And I have after pictures of what this looked like to kind of get me to this look. So the first and foremost thing is, before I do makeup any day, even after I shower, I will use makeup wipes just to cleanse my face. I use Wet n Wild. These are $2 at Walgreens. Anybody can get these. Just make sure that maybe they have aloe or they're soft for your face. Make sure you don't have any kind of reaction. I've used some that seem kind of abrasive. I like Neutrogena, but Wet n Wild was cheaper, so that's what I went for. I do, however, do not skimp on the face lotion. I'm a huge Neutrogena fan because I do have blemishes and my skin is not perfect. So the minute I clean my face, I will dry it, and then I will put about a dime's worth on my index finger, and I will make sure to moisturize my entire face. I can tell you from experience, without doing it versus doing it, this gives you a much better base to do your makeup, and you'll have less breakouts and less tendencies, especially if it's something that helps control with oil and clogging of your pores, things like that. So definitely pick something up like this. I think I got these from Amazon because they were cheaper, but any drugstore will sell Neutrogena brands. So down to the nitty gritty. So I cannot stress this enough. During summer, we have a tendency, as you can see, I have been outside, we don't, as women, remember to buy different color concealers and foundations. I started my day off today with 2 different NYX brands. Now, NYX I found at Target, but it's my favorite. I absolutely adore it. I have 2 different colors that I use, and I use a brush to put this on. You can use your finger. I find the brush gives you better coverage. So all I did was I put some on my brush. I started on the inside of my eyes. I come through, and I put it everywhere that I think I need to. I start with the lighter color first. Then I go through with the darker color. After I'm done with those 2 things, I used, this time I have a Rimmel Perfect Match. It automatically has a brush, and I did pick it a shade lighter on purpose just to kind of contour. I do this around my eyebrows, like right up here in the arch area, underneath my eye, around the lines here, and kind of come through. Again, I have after pictures of what it looked like once all of it was on. This next step is going to make or break your face immediately. I have 2 different types of brushes. I have like a little egg-shaped one, and I have like the little stipple kind, okay? I used to be a big girl when it came to like really sweeping and kind of grinding the foundation in. It's not going to work. And basically all you're doing is wiping off everything that you spent all that time doing. So all I can tell you is once it's all on, I take a dab of coverall. I have 2 different colors. This is Wet n Wild again, extremely inexpensive. These came from Walgreens. I'm a Cards member, Rewards member, so I think these were even more cheaper because of that. I have 2 different shades. You can obviously see one is lighter, one is darker for summer. I'll take like a tiny little pinch of this. I will wet my sponge, and I will literally go through and just pat. All you want to do is kind of pat. And you can blend a little bit when it comes around here, but you just want to pat. The reason I like this brush is it gets that inner part of your eye, especially if you're not doing a heavy makeup. I want to keep this part as light as possible because it really does help bring out your eyes. So once you go through, you pat everything. I finish up with a powder. The powder that I'm using right now, again, this is a Rimmel brand. It's Stay Matte. I have several colors in this because it's summertime. So once you're done, you should have a very smooth, even face. This next trick is, I'm sure, not a big kept secret, but I don't think a lot of people think of it. We will spend a lot of time outside during the summer to get a tan or get a little burnt. I look a little more red here than I actually am. I think it's just from the light. But I do have a tan. You can see that I've been outside and I've gotten some color. Once your foundation and everything is on, that pretty much went away. It was like it was for nothing, and you're definitely not going to match the rest of you. So what I do after my foundation and my powder's on, before I even go into my eyes or before I do anything else, I'm using NYX. This is called Mocha. It is just a blush. I will take my blush, I will blush it, and I will go through and I will go in up here, and I will basically, it's almost like making a faux sunburn, but it's not a sunburn. It's going to be a little redder in the beginning, you know, and I blend it down and I come through on the sides, okay? I get pretty heavily into my eyebrows because, again, you're trying to blend this. You're trying to make this match. So I go through here, I make it pretty even, and then I'm done. I don't do anything below this yet because we're not done. Typically speaking, for the majority, I am a big fan of eyeshadow. I love colors. Like I said, I'm a huge Urban Decay fan, and my favorite palette right now is the Electric palette. I think I have 6 palettes total, and I will say, ladies, that this is an expensive brand, but it lasts for a very long time, especially if you take care of it. These colors, these pigments are very bright, they're very bold, and they're going to withstand a lot of use. So if you can afford to get into these, I think the Electric palette cost me $60. It's an investment, but I promise you that it does last. So at this point in time, my face was just blank with the contouring, a little bit of the red to cause some sun. The next step I did was I used my gel liquid eyeliner. It comes in a little honey pot, and this is e.l.f. brand. e.l.f. brand is great. It's very inexpensive. I think Target was the primary carrier. Walmart sometimes has it, and Walgreens has now picked it up. You can also find it at stores like TJ Maxx and Marshalls, things like that. The only thing I will say that I'm not a fan of is if you can kind of see, it's kind of loose and it kind of moves around and it kind of tends to dry out. You can avoid this obviously by making sure to put the lid back on, but I sometimes have to add a little bit of water just to kind of get it loosened up. The same thing happened earlier with my makeup brush. I have a very thin, you can see an angled makeup brush, and it tends to get gummed up. If you just take paper towels or something like that to it to get it clean, it's going to make it even worse. So the best thing you can do is take a makeup wipe. That's what they're for. Take your brush and just try to, you know, get some of that gel off there, especially with these. These brushes tend to get very, very hard, okay? So it's going to take a lot of it off, I promise you. I mean, this is clean, obviously, you know, it's same thing you're putting on your face. Then you take a towel, you wipe it off, and your brush is, I mean, look at that. Brand new, ready to go, okay? To me, eyeliner is one of the hardest things to perfect. You're going to see a lot of videos out there on tutorials, and they make it look so easy, and I can tell you right now, this is one of those things that is practice makes perfect. I can tell you that I can do the same simple kind of cat eyeliner 80 times and 75 times it'll mess up, okay? It just takes time. You have to be patient. I am left-handed, so no matter what, this eye for some reason always seems to come across better as this one. So all I did earlier, I always take my brush. I'll just kind of show you what I would do. I start in the corner. This is what it typically looks like. I will start in my corner and come through and go through and just sweep it up, okay? It seems pretty simple. It comes across easy, and I will tell you the reason that I'm sticking with the gel is it dries. I cannot tell you how many times I get that under makeup eye, you know, like where you look like you've just melted, especially during the summer. I don't care what you do, it's going to happen. So what I'm going to tell you is when you're out and about, especially like days like today where I had a job interview and I'm going to be out, I carry with me something like this, like a CoverGirl compact, something that has a little more gumption than just powder. This one has like a little bit more, it's not wet, but it's not just powder. I carry this just to touch up underneath my eyes during the day. I've tried to find ways to avoid it. So far, I haven't found the perfect method. So it's just a backup just in case I need it, especially if I'm going from like work to a dinner date or to a meeting or to meet with friends. This is something I recommend doing. So at this point in time, both of your eyes would be done. And this is my next favorite little secret, I guess you could say. I take just any brand. This happens to be an Urban Decay. But if you want this to last long and really pop, take your brush after you're done doing both eyes. Let them sit for a second. Take black eyeshadow. It could be any brand. I don't care what brand you use. It could be a Walmart 99-cent brand. You're just going to lightly go back over what you just did. And ladies, what I'll tell you is it cleans up what you did. It gives you the cleanest line. And you have less bleeding during the day. It looks great. It stays on great. And it's just, again, the simplest little thing, but it makes all the difference. Now, I said I don't always skimp on my makeup. The next thing I will tell you is I am a huge fan of Benefit's Bad Gal. One of the reasons is I was a huge fan of Urban Decay's Hemp Mascara because it doesn't chip. With the cheap ones, the volumizers and things like that, you'll notice that you get those flakes underneath your eye, and then if you wipe them away, it wipes on your face. These don't chip. This is $19 at Sephora, Ulta, any major makeup plan. But it lasts. This one will last me a good 3 months, especially if you keep the brushes clean. And the biggest tip I can tell you that I've learned on Pinterest is when you're starting to run low, take a mug of very warm water, dip your thing in there while it's still closed up, and you'll get some of that loose and you'll get the most bang for your buck. So think about it. I mean, it's like $6-7 a month basically you're invested in this. It's great. I'm telling you, you should get it. So again, at this point in time, all we've done is just the eyeliner, and you're going to go through, take care of the upper lid. I do a little bit on the bottom, not too much because I have nothing on there. I have no makeup. I don't want it to bleed all day. So here we have just simple eyes. Very, very simple. Nothing too over the top. The next step I'm going to tell you, take back out that mocha colored, whatever color blush you have. And you're going to go through, and this is what I say. I put my blush on real heavy. I go in, I do it in counterclockwise and clockwise motions, okay? The reason for that is you're getting the most coverage without taking off all of that work that you just did. So as you can see right now, this side is obviously much more red than this other side is. And that's okay. I'm going to take my brush, I'm going to go back up into the eye, almost to the hairline a little bit again, because again, we're not really lying or giving an illusion. We've been in the sun, but we want it to match. We want our face and our chest, everything, our profile to match. This line right here, you want to smile really big, And make sure to get that cheekbone and this line right here, because that's where your resting face is, okay? Get that line really good, okay? You do this the same on both sides. Do the same thing. I then take that powder out, that matte powder again. I come in under here, and I start underneath the eye, because that's where you want it to be the lightest. Your eye should be light. Then I come through here, during the line right here, and then I sweep. You want to sweep this. You don't want to grind it in. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to swirl it. You just want to sweep because you want to keep that line. You want to keep that look, okay? You do this till you're satisfied. You know, you do the powder. You know, most people know how to put powder on, but you do the same thing. You're going to sweep it this way. Sweep it away from your face. Make sure to get both sides. Make sure it's even, okay? And you can go back and you can think, you know, oh, that's still a little bit too red. You can always blend it through. Okay, but you're just giving that look, okay? So this is done. Your face seems to be set. You can see it shouldn't really be shiny. It shouldn't really be any certain way. But pretty simple, very easy. Normally, from start to finish, from cleansing to powdering, this look takes anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes on average. So it's a great everyday look. It's a great easy work look. It's super fun, super easy. Now, since it's summertime, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of using a lot of eyeshadow unless I'm planning on going out for the night to the bar, to a concert or something like that. I will do my eyes up really big. I'm a huge fan of very, very, very bold eyes. I'm not afraid of color, but this is, again, just a simple everyday look. This is one of my favorite things. It is a Wet n Wild brand. It says Fergie. It's the Biglicious brand. Again, it costs me maybe $2.50 at Walgreens. Very, very cheap. You're going to take your brush, just get a good amount on there. I come up in the eyebrow line, and I come down. So basically you're making like a gator mouth basically here. The reason it just gives you a little bit of shimmer. It's not much. It's just basically giving you a little more contour to the face. Very, very simple, very easy to do, I promise. Very, very simple. If you want, some people do here, here, and here. I don't do my nose too much. I think it makes it shiny, so I stay away from that, okay? So at this point, you're pretty much done. This is my last and final touch that I love to do. People can draw their eyebrows on. You are not going to see me do a lot of eyebrow videos because I've never been a big fan of penciling them in. I try to keep mine shaped the way that I want, but my biggest pet peeve is brushing them at home, and then when I get home at night, they look a little weird. So I use a Child's brand soft toothbrush because I find that it combs the easiest and it gives you the best look, but this is my favorite thing to do. You take a little bit of hairspray, you put it on the end, you brush it into the eyebrow, and it's going to stay up longer, okay? I promise you that. Now you're going to have to wash this more because it's going to get stiffer, but I promise you, it's going to stay up a heck of a lot longer. Now, the other thing is, I don't tend to do my lipstick until I'm in the car because to me it's just the easiest. I get dressed, I wait to put it on until afterwards. But lately, my absolute favorite thing in the entire world is to use these Mega Sticks, and they're by Wet n Wild. They're just makeup, like a lip stain lip pencil, but it adds a lot of color. So I go through, nothing fancy. You don't need a liner. This is going to stay on pretty much for hours. I mean, it'll stay on during meals. You may have to do touch-ups, but it kind of dries a little bit, so it's not going to be that bad. But you can see it gives a nice little pink color, and it looks great, okay? I have a whole bag of lipsticks, and we'll go through those in some of the other videos because I do this same look, but I do it with a really bold red. That's a good night out look, and do the eyeliner a little bit more dramatic. But this is just the everyday look that I said I had today. So this is pretty much what it does. This is what it looked like today. This is what I came across looking like today. Very simple, but still very pretty, still very presentable, and very confident, especially for a job interview. So like I said, you know, all entail, the makeup I use today probably cost me, you know, $40, but it's stuff that's going to last a really, really long time. You have to decide what is your best fit, especially when it comes to foundations. I will, again, post the pictures of before and after, what my skin looked like beforehand. I'll get some close-ups so you can see. You know, obviously my skin is not completely perfect, but with the makeup tricks and the contouring, you can really hide some of those things. You can hide the flaws so you feel confident during the day, which is exactly what I'm looking for. So, Please subscribe. Please like my page. You can follow me on Snapchat at reb.reynolds. You can also find me on Instagram under, I think it's Biglicious_beauty, or the Rebecca Reynolds. I am on there as well. You can find me, and please follow me there. But most importantly, follow my Facebook page, because that's where you're going to see the most updates. So thank you for joining me on my premiere video. I hope it was as fun for you as it was for me, and I will see you next time. Stay beautiful.